So, you've decided you want to teach at an international school in China, have you? If you haven't, this might be a good time to first watch my video about teaching in international schools in China, link in the description. But if you have decided you want a job at an international school in China, how are you going to get one? First of all, make sure you are adequately qualified. I've said this in previous videos, but I'll say it again here. You need the credentials that would allow you to be a school teacher in your home country. So for example, a certificate from a state or province, a UK PGCE, or an equivalent from your home country. And you also need at least 2 years of school teaching experience.
Also, if your position is classified as an English teaching job, which includes both English subject teachers and pretty much all primary or elementary generalists, you'll need a passport from an English-speaking country.
Also, China has a retirement age of 60, so you'll need to be younger than that. Contracts typically last for 2 to 3 years, so you'll need to be at least that much younger than 60. If you are qualified, prepare a CV and contact details for 3 references. Some schools or recruitment agencies will only ask for 2 references, but others will ask for 3, so be ready with that many. You may also want to brush up on writing cover letters, since many schools will want one of those. Be sure to emphasize any skills or experience you have that would make you well suited to teaching abroad. So for example, if you've already lived or volunteered abroad before, or if you have experience teaching English language learners, be sure that gets into your CV and any cover letter you may send. Now to hunt for jobs. First question, when should you start doing that? The short answer is early. School years in China for teachers typically start in August, and recruitment for a new school year will typically begin the year before, in December, in November, or maybe even in October. Why so early, you ask?
Visa paperwork is the biggest reason. For people outside China, the schools need to apply for work permits and other documents for their new employees to get work visas. For those new employees already in China, they need to apply to transfer all those documents to a new employer.
This year it's happening even earlier due to pandemic visa paperwork.
As I speak, some schools are already looking for teachers for August 2022. So if you're looking for a job for next year, get on it yesterday.
Having said that, if it's later than autumn and you're still looking for something for the next autumn, don't despair. There may still be options for you. Have a look and see what's out there. Speaking of which, there are a couple ways to go about looking for jobs.
First, you can check with schools directly. Schools will post vacancies on their websites.
Of course, for this to work, you need to already know what schools exist in China, which you may not if you're not already here. A search engine can help with this, especially if you've already got a certain city in mind. If you do decide to apply directly to a school, they may simply ask you to email them a CV, cover letter, and a list of references. Or they may ask you to fill out an application, either on paper or online. Keep in mind also that there are several large school groups with schools in different cities in China. So if you're applying to a school in a group like that, you may be redirected to a central website to view vacancies and apply for jobs at the various schools in the group. Another way is through recruitment agencies. There are quite a few of these that specialize in international school recruitment.
2 of the most famous are International School Services, or ISS, and Search Associates, both of which hold job fairs at various locations globally.
The disadvantage to these services is that they charge membership fees. You can use an ISS account without paying a fee, but its functionality will be limited. There are other recruitment services that do not charge job seekers fees, but rather make money by charging only the schools that are seeking teachers.
Among the ones I've worked with are Teach Anywhere, Teacher Horizons, and Advectus.
Keep in mind that all the agencies I've mentioned are global in scope and will have listings from all over the world. There are also some recruitment agencies based in China that are focused on recruitment for schools in China only.
I've found these mostly on LinkedIn. And yes, unlike most foreign social media, LinkedIn is accessible and widely used in China.
These in China recruitment agencies may not be as easy to find if you're not already in China, but it doesn't hurt to set up your LinkedIn to show that you're open to work there. Any recruiter you work with will want a CV and references, so again, be ready with those. If you attract a school's interest, you're going to be contacted about an interview. How will this happen? Well, some recruitment agencies, such as ISS and Search Associates, have job fairs where you can interview with schools. This may be an option in some cases. If not, expect your interview to take place via video call. In fact, with international borders largely closed, this is the main way that schools in China are conducting interviews now.
The school may use Skype, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or possibly WeChat, an app primarily used in China.
Follow good interviewing techniques, like checking their school website in advance to get an idea of their school culture and why you think you'd be a good fit for it. Of course, a school should get back to you soon after your interview, whether to decline your application, to offer you a job, or to request a follow-up interview. Many schools do go through multiple rounds of interviews. A school should always get back to you, but my experience tells me they don't always. I have been ghosted by schools before. It shouldn't happen, but it does. Never hurts to send a follow-up email to remind them if they haven't gotten back to you. But occasionally, it's just no good.
If you are offered a position, the school will send you information concerning the salary and benefits package they offer.
Now it's time to analyze if the job offer is to your liking. As I've said, expect to have to sign a commitment for 2 to 3 years. Ask yourself, is the salary what you want? Keep in mind that you can ask how much tax you'll need to pay, and with China's simple tax system, you'll be able to get a straight answer. What about housing? Is there a housing allowance? If housing is provided directly by the school, is it satisfactory to you? What about the school's medical insurance policy? All schools should handle your visa paperwork and pay your visa fees, but do check on this to be sure. If you have children, there's more questions you need to ask. What's the school's policy on staff children studying there for free or at a discount? And how many children can receive this benefit? The most common answer is 2 children, by the way. And is the school suitable for them? This is an especially important question to ask if it's a bilingual school with half the day in Chinese and your children don't already know Chinese. Be sure there's a system set up there for non-native learners.
Some bilingual schools are affiliated and sometimes even co-located with traditional international schools that use English as a medium of instruction and may provide the option to send your children to the English language school while you teach at the bilingual school.
I should note that at present it may not be possible to get a job in China at all if you have dependents who aren't already inside China due to pandemic travel restrictions. However, this is subject to change at any time, so it never hurts to have a look. You may want to do some research on the school. Ask them to put you in touch with some current teachers there and see what they think. You may also want to search them on the internet, but be careful. Some international school forums are largely gripe sites that teachers only go to if they're unhappy, so this may give you a distorted view of the school. Be very careful about giving any answer to an offer, even a verbal one with no signed contract. If you're going through a recruiter and you agree to an offer, even verbally, but later back out, the recruiter may not be able to work with you in the future. Only agree to an offer where you really will sign the contract. If you have accepted an offer, great job! Now to get ready to go. Be sure to tell any recruiters you were working with who don't already know that you're off the job market and start working with your new school to get onto the visa paperwork. I'm hoping to make a video sometime soon about this visa process and how it works for teachers in China. So if you don't want to miss that, this would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!